Well, so that's great. Yeah, so all this talk about Stafford, he's allowed to seek a trade. Look at him with the Giants and the Raiders and the whatever. Apparently, it's all for naught. And apparently, this is all one stupid leverage ploy. As rap sheet, the Rams and quarterback Matthew Stafford can't quit each other just yet. I feel like that's a shot at Jordan Schultz. The two sides are closing in on a deal for Stafford to return to L.A. After talks with the Raiders and the Giants, Stafford ends up taking less than he would have gotten elsewhere to stay. All leverage. I actually don't think that he wanted to go. I think that he and the wife like things out in La La Land, and I think that they just wanted to have some more security, some more guaranteed money for these next couple years. So they used the leverage that they had. Pretty transparent from the get-go, but Darnold now does not get to go to the Rams, which kind of stinks because I thought that was going to be the perfect place for him because then the pass rush can't get to him because they can't hit him in practice. But now, what does that mean for Darnold and, say, the Raiders? Because the Raiders seem to be the team that were all in on Stafford. Brady putting on that full court press. Did they meet in Montana? Who knows? Who really knows? But with Darnold now, it would seem that the Raiders make a lot of sense. But, of course, going back to the earlier reports from The Athletic, that if the Raiders don't land Stafford, it's unlikely that they'll make a large financial commitment on another veteran quarterback who's expected to be available this offseason. Pretty clear shot at slinging Sammy Darnold, a.k.a. America's quarterback, who is probably going to be the only free agent quarterback who's going to crest 20 or 30 million bucks, not including Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah. Also, the reports that the only reason Raiders are pushing for Stafford is that they're lukewarm on Sam Darnold. So, things could get interesting. So, the Rams spot is off the table. I think that, there's certainly teams that could be in on Darnold, but I think that it's going to be coming down to a Final Four. You got the Steelers, you got the Raiders, you got the Titans, and you got the Giants. Now, the Steelers do make the most sense. I think that he would do great in an Arthur Smith system, but are they enamored with Russ? Are they going to run it back with Justin Fields? And do they draft a quarterback at 21? Like, do they just throw a dart with Jackson Dart? The Raiders, we said this earlier. The Raiders could be a bellwether in this spot. They could be an indicator of how the market actually sees Sam Darnold, because the Raiders, clearly want a veteran quarterback. With Stafford, they were all in, even though he's advanced in age. And if they decline to pursue a 27-year-old quarterback who's coming off a career year, who would mesh very well with Pete and Chip Kelly, and also, the fact that they have the cap space, they could be out of range for drafting a quarterback at 6, pending what happens in the top 5. If they decline to pursue Sam Darnold, what does that say to the rest of the market? Now, obviously, it only takes one team, but the Raiders are a huge domino, because if they don't go after Darnold, who does? And with Darnold, like we said, like, his market value is still around $40 million. Spot Rack had him listed at 52 after the Packers game. Maybe not so much. But if the Raiders decide to pass on Darnold, and the Titans say they go a different direction, even though they have the number 1 overall pick, it would make sense for Sam and the Titans. Say the Giants go a different direction. Maybe they go all in on bringing in Aaron Rodgers, and say the Steelers go get Fields or Wilson. Where does that leave Sam? Like, where does that leave Sam Darnold in that situation? I think that potentially opens the door for the Vikings to get something done. It's been a wild week, because if teams out there aren't willing to give Darnold $40 million a year, like I said, all it takes is one. But if they're like, nah, could Darnold be back here on a relatively cheap deal? Like, could the Vikings get Darnold back for $20-25 million? As ridiculous as that sounds, it's not out of the realm of possibility, because if the big-time players that would have paid Darnold, the Rams if Stafford left, the Steelers, Raiders, Titans, Giants, if they all go a different direction, who's going to pony up that $40 million plus? And if the money is close, say that the Colts and the Vikings both offer $25 million for 1 year. Where does Sam feel like he can have the most success? Probably here. So that's something to keep in mind, because that's That's a huge. Now, obviously, things could all change, and the Raiders could be like, F it, we'll just pay him whatever. We'll go there because Sam will give us the best chance right away because it's not a great quarterback class. We're not going to bring in Aaron Rodgers or any ridiculous like that. But it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting because with Stafford and the Rams running it back, and the reports, if true, if they're sort of out on Darnold, that takes away 2 potential landing spots, and that really changes the landscape of things, and that could cost Darnold some money. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Stafford back with the Rams and the implications of Sam Darnold and the Vikings, because it's all about me. It's all about us. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol production value.